There's a lot of people out there who probably aren't very good at Christmas gift wrapping or just simply don't know how to do it. So I thought this would be a nice Christmas related video to post this month. So obviously I guess I'm going to get started with my supplies. That is going to include this Christmas gift I picked up for my nephew. It's a nice, just good little size box. I'm going to do this demonstration with a box because a box is the easiest thing to wrap. Usually you can buy blank gift boxes at Walmart or any other places that sells gift wrap, and just pick up some plain white boxes, put your items in those boxes and then wrap those boxes if that helps you. I always have to have my items in a box because I have to wrap things in a box. I just like things to be nicely squared off and even. So I've got my Christmas gift, some wrapping paper, a pair of scissors, name tags, bows, and I like to use a Sharpie when I write down the name of the person that I'm making the gift out to. So I'm going to give you a little instructional on how to properly wrap a Christmas gift. So let's get started. Okay, I'm working on the kitchen table today, or the dining room table today, because it gives me plenty of surface to work off of. And I'm going to unroll my paper first, step one. Okay, the first tip is that this paper has the grid lines drawn on the back of it. That's very helpful when it comes to cutting out the amount of paper that you need for your gift. I got this paper from Hobby Lobby, and there has not been a roll of paper that I've purchased from there that did not have these grid lines on the back. So I'm going to recommend going there to get some good paper. It's also nice and thick, it's durable during your wrapping process, and then of course it's thick so it keeps the gifts from being able to be seen through the paper. So I really use these grid lines when I'm going to cut the sheet of paper that I need for my gift. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is unroll your wrapping paper. You want to work on a nice flat surface. I'm using the kitchen table, or actually the dining room table. Okay, and you're going to place your gift on top of the paper. Whichever way you want to turn it is fine, whether you want it to be long ways or short ways, whatever you want to refer to it as. I'm going to do mine just long ways. So the way you want to measure is you want to make sure that your sheet of paper is going to come up the side of the box a little over halfway. So this right here is going to work for me, and I'll demonstrate on this side. That's going to be exactly 2 grid lines on this sheet of paper. And I'm going to, this has a little flap that's longer than the rest of this, so I'm going to judge by this piece right here, since it's the shortest piece that's been cut off. And what you're going to do is you want this to be large enough to come all the way up and around the front of the box. And it's the same principle. You want to make sure that it meets a little over halfway across the top of the box. So once you get your sheet of paper figured out, you're going to cut along the dotted lines. You want to make sure both sides that are opposite each other are exactly the same length. So if this side is so long, then this side needs to be the same match. And if this side is so long, then this side needs to be the same match. My sheet of paper has this little flap that's a little bit longer than the rest, so I'm just going to cut it off to make it nice and even, because I do need a square piece of paper to work off of. And like I said, this technique will work for any box gift that you are going to wrap. Then you're going to lay the gift down not you want to lay it face down or face up. Considering that this is going into the back of the gift, just depends on however you want it to look when they unwrap it. So mine is long. And then these grid lines are really helpful, but when you get your sheet of paper cut out, you want to place the gift exactly in the center, since you did cut it out specifically for that purpose, so that all of your sides would be, so that your opposite sides would be the same measurement. It would defeat the purpose to not line it up correctly. Okay, mine's lined up perfectly, so time to get started. Okay, one of the items that I forgot to mention was obviously tape. So when I was a little kid, I used to think that wrapping a gift used so much tape, but it really doesn't use more than 4 or 5 pieces, 5 or 6 maybe. First thing you're gonna do is take your longer pieces, which are going to be your sides, not your end pieces, pull it tight and over the top of the box. And I like to make sure mine is nice and tight. Slap a piece of tape on there. I'm going to do the same with the other side and make sure that your gift did not move off center. Pull it nice and tight. If your gift is moved slightly off center, then your sheets of paper will not line up at the end like this. If you can see that, where it overlaps. So you want to make sure it's lined up the correct way. Pull nice and tight. Okay, now comes the end pieces. These are always the hardest pieces to get correctly. So I'm going to show you both ways. I think the correct way is to start with the length, but I used to start on these ends and fold in like this. I personally think it's up to your own preference, whichever you think looks the prettiest. But for today, I'm going to fold the longer pieces down first. So again, you're going to use another piece of tape. You're going to fold this down and just stick the tape on there. And a little trick that I like to do to make sure everything's nice and cornered off, squared off, or whatever you want to call it, is I like to take this little piece of paper that doesn't have a corner on it, line it up with the edge of the gift so it makes a nice little incline, or whatever you want to call it. And then I like to just fold this piece, and I do it to both sides so that when I get to folding up the rest of this, taping up the rest of this gift, then my corners are already made, and it just makes it easier for me. So I'm going to flip it over, fold this down as well. And again, you can just tape anywhere. Okay, I've taped this piece down. I'm going to do the same thing by folding down these corners. As you can see, it bows out just a little bit right here. So I'm going to hold it straight with my fingers and turn this piece in. If I have to overlap it, that's okay. I just want to make sure that I get it pulled nice and tight. And then I'm going to hold my finger down here where I want it to be folded. So that makes a nice little cornered flap to fold down. I'm going to do the same thing to this side, and I really hope this is making sense. So you want to run your finger down the edge of the gift. Obviously your paper is not going to cooperate, so that's when you're going to put your finger in here, pop this piece out, continue to run your finger down the side. Make sure it's a nice little triangular flap, and then fold it down. Then you have two nice, if you can see that, two nice like 90-ish degree angle cornered flaps. Then you're going to tape those down. Fold it in. You're going to fold it in. Sometimes your little sheet of paper will fold along a different line, and that's okay as long as it is still triangular looking in the end, as long as it's to your liking and you're not completely dissatisfied with the look of your gift. This way everything lays nice and flat and everything's cornered and looks pretty professional. So this is going to be the corner of your gift. Noisy blocks are in there. Okay, now I'm going to show you the exact same thing on this side, except I'm not going to talk you through it, I'm just going to demonstrate it. All you have left to do is slap a bow on it and a name tag, and you're ready to go. This is the corner that I just completed, so I'm going to show you a close-up of that, just to show you how tightly wrapped it is. This here is our gift. Okay. Now, picking out a bow to me is just as important, because you want to pick a color that is not going to blend in with your wrapping paper. And the reason is because you don't want your bow to disappear on your gift. You want it to stand out like a pop of color. You want it to be seen. You know, that's the point of the bow, is to dress up your gift. So if you blend it in, then it's not going to look good. Like for instance, this silver bow, clearly silver would match silver, but when you put it on top of silver wrapping paper and it's just stacked into the tree, it's not really something that's going to stand out. So what I like to do is pick out a bow that has the same color as some of the lesser amount of colors in the gift paper. So obviously this has more silver and less red, so I would prefer a red bow. There's also white. I think on the last package that I wrapped with that paper, I used a white bow, and I think that one was just as pretty. I'm going to show you a few things. I think white still kind of blends in. I like red better for this one. Another thing is the size of your bow matters sometimes. This gift is really probably too big for this bow. It makes the bow look really small, and therefore it doesn't stand out as much as I'd want it to, and that to me defeats the purpose. I only bought two sizes of bows this year, the regular size and the really small size. I really like the super small bows to put on little tiny box gifts. So we are going to choose between two bows. And in fact, I'm going to put both of them on there. One is shiny red, one is a more dull red. I like the look of both of them together. I've seen my dad do this on gifts before when we were younger and I forgot about it. If you do have bows that are too small, one way that you could dress up your gift a little bit more is to just put two bows next to each other like this right here, which is what I'm going to do with this gift. Okay, I don't know if you're familiar with this technique, but I'm going to show it to you anyway, just in case you're not, since this is a gift wrapping tutorial. I've already taken the little piece of paper off the back of my bow, so now all that's left is the sticky residue. And I'm going to place it lightly on the gift. And usually you can get your fingers down in here underneath these little, I hope you can see the way I did that. Down in here underneath these little bows. And that's where I choose to press, because before I figured that out, I used to just smash the bow down, and that would be stupid. Okay, here's my two bows. Name tag placement to me is also somewhat important. Obviously I like to place my name tag right around the bows, but I like them to be just right up next to the bow without being underneath it, because I don't want the names to be covered, but I don't want it to be so far away that you have to search for it. Obviously the bows are going to capture your attention when you pick up a gift, so that's naturally where you want to place your name tag. I also prefer a name tag that is going to have some colors to match my wrapping paper. I, again, don't want it to blend in with the wrapping paper, because then you have to hunt for the name tag. I want it to stand out somewhat, so I'm going to probably choose a name tag that has one of the colors in my wrapping paper, like one of the least amount of the colors in my wrapping paper. Okay, so I'm going to, I had trouble getting the right match specifically for this gift, but I'm going to put this right here next to these bows, and I prefer to write on that tag in a Sharpie because it's the most comfortable for me to write with. So there you have it, our nicely wrapped gift with our perfectly placed bows and name tag. And this is the proper way to wrap a gift. So I hope that you can put these techniques into use and get to wrapping some of your own gifts. And I hope they look like they are of a department store standard for you. Thanks so much for watching this tutorial. This is probably going to be the last Christmas related video that I'm going to put up this year, besides any vlog ones that may be coming out. So thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed already, please do so. And I'll see you later. Bye.